Hey freaks, it's JJ. Today I'm going to be explaining the story behind Coheed and Cambria's latest album, Vaxis Part 1, The Unheavenly Creatures. So, let's jump right in. So this story takes place after the events of the Amory Wars. I'm not too sure how long after, it's not really clear about that, but I'm pretty sure it takes place after the Amory Wars. So there's kind of this new world order that's taken over Heaven's Fence called the Five Houses of Star Supremacy, and they have turned the 9 planets that broke off of the Keywork and Second Stage Turbine Blade into prison planets. So to start off, I'm going to explain the 3 main characters. So first there is Nostrand, aka Creature, I might call him Nos for short. And then there's second main character, Nia, aka Sister Spider. She is Nostrand's girlfriend. And third, there is Otto, aka Colossus. So this trio is known as the Unheavenly Creatures, and they're basically a band of thieves. So we start off on a ship called the Gavel that's headed for the Dark Sentencer, which is one of the prison planets. And on board is Nostrand and Otto, and they're both kind of arguing, and then we flash back to a few years earlier on a bank heist that they went on that went horribly, horribly wrong. So they've been staking out this bank heist for a few months now, they know it inside and out, and so Nostrand, Otto, and Nia, they enter the bank, and Nostrand stands guard over the hostages, while Nia and Otto go back to the bank vault to steal the cash. Nostrand hears 2 shots ring out, and then Otto comes racing out of the vault, bag of cash covered in blood, and he says that a guard shot Nia in the head, she's now dead, and they need to get out of there. So Nostrand's obviously in shock. He wants to go help Nia, see if she's really dead, see if maybe there's any hope for her, but Otto pulls him out of the bank by force and says that he'll blow up all the hostages if Nostrand doesn't come with him right now. What? So we go back to the Gavel in present time, and the guards are explaining that the prisoners have 24 hours to check in with their supervising officer and get fitted with a gutter. If they don't do this within 24 hours of reaching the Dark Sentencer, they relinquish their protection from all the mobs and gangs that live on the Dark Sentencer. So Otto and Nostrand begin arguing about whose fault it is that they got captured, and Otto blames Nostrand because he never stopped searching for Nia. He was never convinced that she was actually dead, and that led to them getting caught. And so then Otto finally reveals to Nostrand that he knows that Nia's dead because he's the one who killed her. And so I don't know what it is with Claudio, but he definitely has a tendency to kill off the main character's love interests. Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, Nostrand's obviously thrown into a rage. Him and Otto begin beating the shit out of each other, and the guards have to break him up, and they throw them both off of the ship to fall down to the Dark Sentencer. Otto wakes up on planet, and he gets fitted with his gutter. So what is a gutter? A gutter is basically this belt-type device that's implanted into your organs, and so the guards can turn it on using an ordnance device, and it'll basically corkscrew your guts and just kill you by gutting you, hence the name the gutter. Nostrand wakes up on the Dark Sentencer, and he's hell-bent on finding Otto and getting his revenge for killing Nia. And so he doesn't report to his commanding officer, he doesn't get fitted with a gutter. He runs into a friend named Pilo that helps hide him away so that the guards don't catch him. And he explains everything that's going on and what he just found out about Nia. Pilo suggests that Nostrand seek out the Windows. So the Windows are these kind of supernatural type beings that wander the Dark Sentencer, and supposedly they can speak with the souls of the dead. So she advises him to seek out Mr. Wish and find out if Nia is really dead or alive. So Nostrand chases a window down into these caverns, and he eventually finds Mr. Wish and asks him about Nia. He says there's no one here by that name, and so Nostrand goes, okay, what does that mean? And Mr. Wish goes, but wait, you have a son that wishes to speak with you, named Vaxis. And Nostrand's like, well, I don't have a son. And Mr. Wish is like, well, you don't now, but you do in the future. So then he grants him a vision of his future son named Vaxis. While Nostrand is having this vision, the Windows knock him out and drag him back farther into their lair. So then Nostrand comes to, and he's in this prison cell with a bunch of other prisoners, and he's not really sure what's going on. And he ends up befriending one of the other prisoners who's a teenage computer hacker. His name is Sam. Eventually, Nos and the rest of the prisoners get taken before the Queen of the Dark to be judged whether or not they're going to serve as slaves or be eaten as food. And so, she starts bringing them one by one, food serve, food serve, food serve. So Nostrand comes before the queen, and he realizes it's Nia. She's the Queen of the Dark. So she doesn't bat an eye. She says serve, and he gets dropped off with the rest of the slaves to mine the energy from the core of the planet. So then we flip to Nia's perspective, and she definitely recognized Nostrand, but she's really conflicted because as far as she knows, he betrayed her, and he was in on it with Otto, and he left her there to die. But at the same time, she still has these unresolved feelings, and she's still in love with him. She's also super frustrated with her position as the Queen of the Dark because the food rations have gotten less and less, so she's had to resort to feeding people to her slaves in order to keep production up. And she's also kind of begun to care for all these subservients, and she really wants the best for them. She feels bad that the core radiation is deteriorating them, and they basically die a painful, horrible death. And so she decides to go meet with the warden to ask for help. So she rides up the pavilion to meet with the warden. The pavilion is this tower elevator type thing. It goes from 0 level, where Nia and the core workers are, all the way up to the surface. And at the surface, there's this tower that serves as a docking bay for all the ships coming to and from the planet. And so she meets with the warden. She begs him, if she could get more food rations for her workers, if she could get better protection equipment, basically anything. And he says no, because the planet only has another couple weeks, maybe a month at most, before the core is completely depleted and the planet is destroyed. And so she's like, well, oh shit, I guess it's on to plan B. So she steals an ordnance device, which is what controls the gutters, and she also steals his override password as well. So then Nia comes to Nostrand about a week later in the middle of the night to get his help escaping and freeing her people from the impending destruction of the planet. So right as they're about to leave, they get attacked by assassins because the warden found out that Nia stole from him, and so he sent the assassins to kill her. They narrowly escape, and then they flee through the tunnels of the Dark Sentencer, and they're aided by the windows a little bit. But before they leave a message for Sam, Nostrand's computer hacker friend, to get his help to hack the mainframe to free all the prisoners before the planet blows up. So while Nos and Nia are trying to get to the pavilion to escape off planet, Nostrand explains that he didn't betray her. He had no idea up until recently about what Otto had did, and he spent all these past years relentlessly searching for her and never actually believed that she was dead. So eventually she comes to forgive him, and she admits that she still loves him, and then the windows grant her the same vision that they gave Nos about their future son named Vaxis. So then Nos and Nia eventually make it to the surface of the planet, where they steal a cargo ship and are about to leave right when Otto blows them up. So the warden had employed Otto to take out Nia and Nostrand because he knows that they have a history, and he knows that he would be willing to do it. And he's totally capable since he's a big, huge, scary guy. After Nostrand and Nia get blown up, Nostrand and Otto get into a bloody fist fight, beating the crap out of each other, and then Otto pulls out a knife on him, and he's about to murder Nostrand when Nia pulls out her ordnance device, punches in her override password, and activates Otto's gutter. So blood and guts go everywhere, and Otto falls down dead. So right at this time, the pavilion explodes into pandemonium right after Otto dies, because Sam was able to hack the mainframe and free all the prisoners from the core of the planet. So all the prisoners are rushing to the surface to get free. All the guards are shooting them down. Military shows up, and people are trying to get off planet. Nostrand and Nia don their old masks from when they were the Unheavenly Creatures, and they get ready to fight their way off the Dark Sentencer. So that's where Vaxis Part 1, The Unheavenly Creatures, ends. And I guess we're all up to date on Coheed and Cambria for now. I was thinking about doing a fan theory for No World for Tomorrow. Since there are no comics for it yet, I was thinking about coming up with how I would end the Amory Wars based on my knowledge of the previous comics and based on the lyrics of the album as well. So if you guys are interested in hearing what my theory would be, let me know in the comments. Also, I'm planning on doing more story explained for concept albums. The next one I'll probably do is going to be Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. Let me know if you're interested in that as well. Also, I'll be taking suggestions for other metal and rock concept albums that you want me to explain the story behind. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you want to get notified when I do those other videos, then hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.